Hello, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to the Awakening Confidence Wednesday talk show. Today, I am just here so that we can have a conversation about being enslaved by your emotions. The question is just, are you enslaved by your emotions because you are mentalizing self-love? 𝐬𝐞𝐥𝐟 is my name. I am an authentic self-embodiment queen, a soul liberator, quantum witch doctor, empowering and supporting people to embody their authentic self so that they can find their groove back, they can connect deeply with themselves and find love. As you know, you attract what you are. I'm showing up here on Instagram too, so when you see me looking the other direction, just know that I'm trying to keep up with my audience from Instagram. Yeah, I just wanted us to talk about mentalizing self-love, because as much as self-love is the foundation and we understand it, it's like we understand it mentally. But the question is, are we being it? Do we feel it? Do you get to a point where you're like, I love myself so much and I don't want to hear anything about self-love because I am the it? Because for some of you who don't know, I am a physical intuitive, emotional intuitive, mental intuitive, um, spiritual intuitive. It's kind of like I can feel your body from all levels. So when I connect with someone, I get to know what is going on in their bodies. And there is someone that I connected with, and immediately I got to know what is going on. And immediately when she heard the word self-love, it was like, no, I love myself. And it was not only the first person who came up like that. I know there was a point when I was feeling like that. I still remember I was having a session some years ago when I started my business, and this woman brought up the issue of not feeling worthy. You are not feeling worthy, as one of the things that are stopping me from progressing in my business. And I was like, no, it can't be self-love. It can be not feeling worthy, because I know I feel worthy. I am really confident and all that, and of course I'm confident. But do I really did I really feel that I was worthy at that time? I didn't. And I said, what I have a problem with is only the fear of success. I was comfortable with me labeling it as the fear of success, but when you trace it back and just go to the core of it, even when you say I am afraid of succeeding, what is it that you're afraid of? Probably you will say, I'm afraid of what people will say. You know, when it comes to relationship, why do you desire a relationship, but at the same time you're afraid of being in a relationship? I'm afraid of being hurt. There is a past experience that you are taking from the past experience that you have. Like that experience is still imprinted in your brains, where it's kind of like you're kind of like afraid and expecting the same thing to happen. But when you go back to that relationship to say, how did you really feel in that relationship? This is why I love to ask you, and we can just start with that. Just take a deep breath and anchor in your body and just feel your heartbeat. Feel any sensation that is coming through in your body. How are you really feeling? you know this is like dropping from the head to get into your body and connect with your body. And when you desire to find your dream person, your dream partner, how do you want to feel? What is it that you want to experience when you talk about being in a relationship? Let's start there. Because we have this thing of, first thing we just go into the mind, I want to find love. What does love mean to you? What kind of love did you experience as a child? That's one of my big questions. Because for years, I held into this love that I knew consciously that I wanted. My subconscious was not in it. This is why at times you find yourself having a pattern of attracting the same kind of people with different names, because there is something that is similar. There is that familiar suffering that is like pulling you towards those people. So when you talk about self-love, Do you feel it? Okay, are you comfortable with being with yourself and feeling your emotions? Because self-love is not only dressing well, um, it's not only that, it's also being with the discomfort, knowing and understanding that as much as this is not comfortable, but at the end of the day, it's an aspect of mine that feels like that. This is why when a relationship is ending, you find that probably you are still in love. Whatever that love that you label it, there is a part of you that wanted that was drawn to that aspect. Probably it's because of one of your parents that was missing, the kind of love that you didn't receive. Like I mentioned in my case, I knew the emotional unavailability of men because that's the love that I received from my dad. He loved me, but it was to the best of his capability. But it doesn't mean that that love was enough to soothe me. I want you to breathe into that, because it does not dismiss or belittle the love that you received from your caretakers, from your parents. It's just that they loved you with what they had. And right now, you might be talking about you love yourself based on what you know, but yet there is something within you that desires something better. But when you are not yet in that better, you realize that when you come across those uncomfortable emotions, which are uncomfortable, but they are productive because they are bringing something that you need to heal so that you can release it, so that you can integrate that aspect of yours that perceives love in that frequency, whether it's the emotional unavailability, whether it's the even abuse. It's kind of like, oh my god, he was there was the I believe those people are still there. It's not worse, where it's kind of like when someone is being um angry and kind of like abusive or monitoring, they feel like this person loves me. It's quite funny talking about being monitored and abused that you're not even aware of, because you cannot believe this. I was in a relationship for more than 5 years. What I knew is we had this tracking things in the phones, and because that's what my partner said, just download this thing, we need it for whatever reason. And I had nothing to hide. So in my mind, there's nothing that came through to say you are controlled or anything like that. Until later, I was like, what the heck was that? When I realized that even in a relationship, I do not have a voice. Even when we like trying to find out what do you want to buy, what kind of, for instance, want to buy a new bed, what kind of bed do you want? No matter what I say, it's something that I was never taken serious. I realized that I don't have a voice, but I said with that not enough, because I felt not enough. I felt not worthy because I was judging my worth based on finances. I want you to sit with that. Where in your life do you look at your bank account and you value yourself based on that? Because the question that people love to ask is, what are you bringing to the table? So where does that take you? When you hear what are you bringing to the table, do you contract? Because I want to tell you something, and this is true, whether you want to take it with you or not, you are valuable. And every relationship, everything that you get to do, the foundation of it being fruitful, of it being successful, you get to know you are valuable, know your worth, because your worth is not defined by the bank balance in your account. There is so many qualitative assets that you have, the abilities that you have, that you are sitting on. You are not even seeing them as something as something positive. You are not seeing them as something valuable, because you are only looking at your value based on what the culture, the society has programmed you or conditioned you to believe you are. So when you get to a relationship and you know your worth, first thing is one of the things that you don't even get to a relationship uh, that is less than what you perceive yourself as. Because one of the things, oh no, sorry, one of the things that was a big, I would say, red flag from my side was that I did not feel worthy of myself. I didn't value myself. So every time I got into a relationship where it's kind of like I felt like it would be safe to be me. So you look at things and kind of like, okay, yeah, they've got potential. It's not what I really want, but they've got potential. So it's kind of like I was looking for something that I would feel comfortable in, But because I knew that aspirations and all that, then I outgrow that. So for someone to see you outgrowing them, they want to keep you because they start not feeling comfortable. Because if you are getting into a relationship because you want to feel comfortable, you want to be accepted, you want to be approved of, you are looking for for confirmation outside of you, you're going to get someone who is operating at that level. But if you've got other visions, you see yourself growing and all that, and you've left that out, you are focusing on the other person to say they're not who I want them to be, but they've got potential, and you forget about your own potential. Because potential is also one of those assets that we have. So if you meet someone who has arrived, then there's going to be a conflict already, because you've got this mission and vision and you want to go somewhere, and someone is kind of like, for us to be together, I want you to be here. If you want to dream that big, I'll do everything that I take to bring you down, because I don't see it possible for me to make my dreams come true. Therefore, I will project that into you so that you do not feel worthy of fulfilling those dreams. Because just as I say that, I would like you to look at your past relationships to say what was happening. How did you feel when it comes to, for instance, the inspirations that you had? Were you able to express yourself, to talk about your dreams, whatever that you love? Because it doesn't mean that they have to agree with you, but if someone gets to listen and just honor your presence, you know, as much as I believe if you get into a relationship, it's not about just what you want, it's also knowing that you are bringing that into a relationship. Even when someone talks about the table, you know that the table that you're talking about is just too small, because I'm bringing a lot. Because if you get into a relationship with that wanting to be rescued, because some of the relationship, you get into a relationship, when you get out of it, you feel completely depleted. You have to start filling up, um, just rejuvenating yourself afresh. But if you do not get to work on those things that brought you where you were, you're going to attract another relationship that's going to deplete you even more. I talk a lot about our sexual energy, which is our creative energy, and it's also our healing energy. And if you are not willing to connect and tap into that life force energy, then chances are you're going to use your energy just to heal other people. You meet broken people, and instead of them choosing their own healing, you choose to use your own sexual energy to heal them. Probably you are doing it without even being conscious of it, you know. But you can connect to that energy to heal, to create, and be the person that you desire so that you can attract your soulmate. Because your soulmate is waiting for you to whatever level, whatever relationship that you perceive yourself having, it exists. You cannot have that desire if it was not meant to be. Because a desire is coming from that level of creation that already exists. It's kind of like it's sipping in and dropping in to say, yes, this is possible for you. This is why you have that desire. This is why within you there is a part of you that believes that I am gonna have this kind of relationship. I want to feel loved and appreciated. I want to be with someone where we have some shared values. I want to be with someone who we can inspire. You imagine whatever that you imagine doing, whatever dream that you have, whether you want to feel worthy, confident, expansive, create whatever dream that you want to create, even finances. Because when you talk about freedom, again, there is many aspects of freedom. You know, whatever freedom that you desire to have and experience yourself as in a relationship. Because my question is, how do you want to experience yourself in a relationship? You know, whatever desire that you have, it exists. Your soulmate exists. The question is, do you feel worthy of them? Are you able to say no to someone who shows up in your life right now? Because as much as they're amazing, they're nice and all that, they ain't the kind of partner that you dream of. Or you are too lonely for you to jump in and be with the next person. Do you love yourself so much to be with yourself, to and feel your emotions and embrace and integrate that aspect of yours that might still be crying for the relationship that ended. Or you love yourself too much that you don't even want to feel this. You love yourself too much that you do not want to feel this pain of the relationship that ended, because you love yourself too much to cry for somebody else. But there is an aspect of yourself that was attracted to that person. There was a time in your life when you looked at that person and said, I don't know where you've been, baby. Because it was kind of like an upgrade from whatever that you received from before. And this is to whatever, if you look at your relationship that you're having, if you have been upgrading but you are not yet there, already you can see there's a progress that you are making. So if you just get to work on yourself and embrace and integrate those aspects of yourself that you are pushing aside because you love yourself so much, you're not willing to listen, you're not willing to feel, yet your body has pain at the back between your chest, that you've got a pain in your heart. Because there is a lot of things that I feel in the body. Like, for instance, even right now, as I am sitting here and connecting to the energies that are coming through, whoever is watching this or whoever is going to watch this in the future, what I'm feeling is there is that energy that I feel of a little bit of, it's not so severe, but I feel there is sort of like an oppression from men that I feel that is coming, it's coming through. And this is kind of, it creates an imbalance in your masculine and feminine energy. It's kind of like your masculine, it feels wounded, where you feel like you are leaping, you are leaping when you go ahead with your life. When you create, when you're in a relationship, your masculine energy is not that powerful. It's kind of like wounded. So these are the things that, when you get into a relationship with that energy, you kind of like get to depend on the other one and wants to be fathered, because your masculine energy is not strong enough, and your masculine energy cannot hold space for the feminine, so that you can show up as a woman and use your, I would say, your powers. When you talk about sensuality, when you talk about intuition, getting those messages, acting on it, when your masculine is feeling comfortable, when your masculine can hold that space, can be that container, so that when you have those dreams, you bring them, there is somewhere where they are going. For instance, if you have a bottle of water, without the bottle, you cannot hold that water. And I feel the feminine energy is that flow that keeps coming in. And if the masculine is injured, or like I said, is wounded, then if it's broken, it's going to be like some energy is going to just be flowing out, and you do not feel comfortable to bring into fruition whatever that you desire, you know. So self-love is being with yourself, is embracing that pain that is still there. It's knowing even your worth, to know that it doesn't mean that if I'm hurting, that I'm less than human. It doesn't mean because I have been through these experiences, or I have this much money in my balance, I am less than. You know that you are a creator, but you know that you are also human. You embrace all those aspects of yours, that are not feeling seen, that are not feeling heard. Because if you pay attention to yourself, which at times it could be something that is coming through as your inner child, that is showing up, because it feels like every time you get into a relationship, you kind of like forget about it and just run after this person, because you are trying to do all that you can so that you can grab this person's attention, and you forget about yourself. You don't go and play, you don't get to speak, you don't. And this inner child also has it knows your vision, it knows what you are. If you forget yourself because you want to give this person so much attention, you even ignore your own needs, you ignore you don't even know what you like, which is something that um I played that game for a long time, where when I got into a relationship, I kind of like mesh with the other person and get to do what they were doing, and forget about my own desires, you know. So where in your life do you realize those patterns, where you get to ignore yourself, forget your dreams, forget the things that you love to do, and when the relationship ends, it's like, oh my God. Because at times you realize that when relationship is ending, it's kind of like most of the friendships that you have, or that you had with your partner, are also ending one or the other, and you get to find yourself and start creating friendships anew, but you are feeling unworthy and all that. So it's kind of like you just get to the bottom, you know bottom, where it's kind of like, where do I start? I don't have friends. I don't even know what I like to do and all that. And this is the time for you to get to know that, so that you can create that foundation and connect with that love, knowing that you can give yourself all that you desire. You don't have to get into a relationship with that desperation, with that hunger to be loved. You can hold space for your inner child, so that your inner child does not sabotage your relationships, which often happens. If you ignore yourself, you ignore your inner child, they're going to show up with that looking for attention. And it gets that, it's that icky energy where it's kind of like, oh, you're just too much, you're just too clingy and all that, you know. So when you say you love yourself, are you wearing it as a mask, or you can really feel it? You can be with yourself, you honor your solitude, um you are comfortable with creating boundaries, because saying no is also one big part of self-love, without feeling guilty about it. Because one thing that I realized, especially with people who do not have boundaries or who do not respect other people's boundaries, is that when you say no, they easily get offended. Like somehow in their beingness, for them it's kind of like a rejection. Can you meet me so that we can go somewhere? And you're like, no, today I'm not feeling like it. I'm not feeling well. I want to be with myself. There is something that I'm feeling. I want to process it on my own. And the next thing, somebody does not talk to you because they just felt like you rejected them, or whatever stories that they're making them. And probably you are the one who's making those stories. When somebody says no, you do not respect other people's boundaries because you don't have boundaries. So I'm just sharing this with you so that you can have a look at your experiences and say, oh, that's me. And it's not for you to beat yourself up. It's for you to say, okay, what action am I willing to take now, so that I can embody my magnificent, so that I can really connect with myself, with my body, and get to know that every emotion that is coming through, it's coming through to share a message with me. I don't have to be with my in my head and go ahead like, oh, I have to vibrate high. You can vibrate high, and then you meet somebody who is okay, like that energy is like they and they have an interest. Maybe you start something, and eventually it's kind of like that person is like, this is not what I wanted. And it's kind of like you get disappointed again because you could not sustain that mental high vibrations that you want. It's different from when you are it. You get to embody it. You are not fighting so hard. You do not have to be in your mind where you get to even miss connecting with someone, where you get to miss what the other person is saying. Because even when you talk about sensuality, oh, making love and stuff, they need you to be present, not in your head thinking about how your body looks, thinking about the scar that you have and all that. You get to just be present and surrender. That's when you get to co-create. And it's still the same energy that we use about creating whatever that we desire in life. It's the same energy that we use when you talk about making love. And that's the same energy that you also get to use when you are also making love to yourself, connecting deeply with yourself, knowing that you matter, owning your owning your sexual energy, getting to know how your body feels, what turns you on. That's self-love. Getting to know how you feel when something is not off, getting to understand your gut feeling. It's self-love. It might be uncomfortable, but you get to be the master, even the master of your shadows. For me, I felt it's you having your own power if you know your own shadows. But if you don't, then chances are you're gonna be easily manipulated. Because um some people will get to know you better than you know yourself. Chances are you're gonna be sort of going around um morphing and changing to whoever that is around, because you are always trying to satisfy and understand the temperature of the room so that you can fit in. You are not embracing your unique self. I would like to hear, what is your take from this conversation? When you connect with that, where do you feel like this is so flipping true and I get to do something about it? Where do you find the patterns that I've mentioned in your past relationships? Where are you at? Do you feel uncomfortable, or you kind of like just taking that deep breath and just like honoring whatever that your soul is bringing forth, or you just want to turn this off and like, oh, forget it, whatever, I'm just gonna find my soulmate and all that. Talking about that, I have this program that I've just I'm launching for the singles, where I'm bringing in the 4 ways that you can easily connect, get your groove back, connect with your vibrant self, get all confidence, and then find love. Because really, confidence is that superpower that one gets to embody, where you know that you are worthy of being heard, you are worthy of being seen, where you get to understand deeper the assets that you have, so that you can own your value, you can increase your value, and you show up knowing that I'm not just bringing something to the table, I'm bringing something to the whole room, house, whatever. Not being apologetic about who you are, but at the same time, I'm not saying you gotta be arrogant as if you are better than. It's kind of like just embody your unique self and showing up in life, knowing that even the earth is saying yes to your presence. Because it's time you change things, baby. It's time you experience yourself differently. It's time you find that love that you desire. You are worthy of it. So if you feel like it's something that talks to you, to get your vibrant self back, to feel confident and find love, so that you do not repeat the same patterns, you do not become a victim to your ancestors' toxic patterns, then I am your person. I'm offering some calls. Just send me a message and then I'll get back to you and we can have a conversation. Okay? Much love. Bye bye. Oh my God, I'm so tired.